Hello, my little goblins. We're back at it again. This time we got pure Tenyi, and my goodness, is this deck a sweet one. We got 3 Adahara, 3 Shitana, 3 Vishuddha, 3 Ashuna. We got 2 Mapora, and 1 Nahata. So the reason why Shitana is at 3, this card can do some pretty sick stuff. If your opponent ends up destroying one of your non-effect monsters, which is very important, you can bring that card back and then destroy one of your opponent's monsters. Mapora pretty much is a negate if your opponent's targeting something. Nahata is probably the worst effect. It saves you some life points if your opponent's attacking you. And obviously you guys know what the rest do because they're pretty standard inside Sword Soul. We are playing Vessel of the Dragon Cycle. This deck pretty much is a blind second deck list. It's very easy to OTK people with this because you have so many special summons. Remember how I always complain about saying this deck relies way too much on a normal summon? Well, this deck's the complete opposite. It relies very little on normal summon. If anything, it relies really heavily on special summoning, which you can do an infinite amount of. Maybe not infinite, but you can do a lot of them. This card's also actually ridiculous in the deck. So this card, when you normal summon it, you can banish a trap from your deck, which you banish Blackout, and it increases its level by 1. And this is an easy play to go into Ravenous Crocodile, and it also, that plus Adahara lets you go into Chen Ying. I am also going to point out, if your opponent ends up imperming this card, if they imperm it or effect veiler it, this card will just it sends for cost, so Blackout will automatically go anyway. So it would actually allow you to go into Draco Berserker, which is even better. That all being said, pretty much what you want to be going into, you want to go into Monk, you go into Shaman, hopefully have Mermare in the graveyard. You can use Mermare to go into Sashahara, which this card's pretty nuts at OTKing. But yeah, the deck, let's just say the deck OTKs very easily. We're going to get into some matches, and you guys are going to see exactly what I talk about. It's pretty straightforward, and it's a fun deck to play, so let's get into it. Hello, my little goblins. We're here with game number 1, and I'm just going to say this right now. This game is almost more of a showcase of my opponent's deck than my deck, because this shit was honestly kind of sick. But he ended up throwing, though. I'm going to say he ends up throwing. And I'll tell you exactly when he throws. I'm going to speed through this. But he is playing like a Predaplant Infernity deck, which is really strange. But actually does really well. Like, look at that. I think he just had the nuts, to be honest. Like, I feel like his hand was just absolutely disgustingly nuts. He goes into Yugioh. Yugioh's gonna let him grab 4 cards and then put back 3. This card's nuts. It's gonna let him discard. Like you're gonna see what I'm talking about. Why this deck is nuts. I actually think it's kind of crazy. Like, this is the only reason I'm including it, because, like, when I was playing against it, I was like, what the fuck is this? Man. Dude, my tooth is still killing me. I know nobody cares, but dude, it is so painful. I've been taking, like, so much pain medication. I normally never take pain medication. So here's Trishulu. Here's where the pain starts to happen. So Trish is gonna banish a card from my hand. He hits a Shuna, which honestly, as a lot, like like my hand's like pretty good. I can play through a lot. He goes into this weird card, which is another hand banish. So already, I'm down 2 cards. Right? Something I'm going to say, though, is... Okay, we're going to go down 3 cards, guys. This is what I was saying. This is annoying as hell, dude. I have 2 cards in hand. I've even fucking played the game. He goes into Archfiend. He grabs Barrier. So this makes it so pretty much monster, like, if he has an Inferno card in attack mode, he's able to activate this card, and it's pretty much a negate. And I'm actually pretty positive it's not even like a once per turn negate. Like, when Inferno monsters have no cards in your hand, negate the activation you do. Yeah, it's not even a once per turn. So if he ends up getting another one of those out, which he grabs one, he has 2. Like, hot take. Go in, you after you use these effects, go into IP pass. Like, literally, I just lose the game. There's no way I can play through this. But our boy likes to go super extra. And don't get me wrong, he can continuously combo off, but I feel like he's doing just too much here. He goes into Embryo. This is going to recycle back all the Trishulas and stuff. He's trying to pretty much make me have 0 cards in hand. That's pretty much what he's going for. Him getting rid of Apollosa, the dumbest move he could actually make here. It's just so dumb because, like, he had the game locked out, and now he's just kind of throwing. Now he has a card in hand. I want to point out, he goes into another Trishula, but now since he has a card in hand, he can't use any of his back row. He gets rid of triple tactics, which honestly is good for me. So now it's my turn. This card's live, but I honestly don't really even need it. Adahara is going to be able to, like... You're going to see, I'm going to be able to combo off of this. Adahara goes into Monk. I can use Adahara to grab Ashuna. Activate Ashuna. And then our opponent concedes. Alrighty, guys, we're here with game number 2. And like I said, that last game I did get pretty lucky with him not banishing the Adahara from hand. But, like, tell me what deck really can... There's not many decks that could win from 1 card, right? Like, I think he did give up too early, too, to be completely honest. But, like, I was going to be able to combo off like crazy on him. It was going to be a rough one. So we go Monk, activate Vessel, send Mare, grab Vashuda. We use Vashuda, pop the window. Then we can use Adahara, add back Vashuda. He's going to activate Maxi. We have Call by a Grave. And our opponent's fucked because we have triple tactics. We're going to be able to draw 2. And he just concedes. Yep, that's how this game usually goes. Hello, everybody. We're here with game number 3, and our hand is actually looking... It's not the best, but our hand's actually pretty damn good right now. Our hand's really good because we have Mapora, and since he played at Jack, you know he's playing Labyrinth. The only Labyrinth plays this card. So we activate Mapora first because we want him in the graveyard, so when he activates something, we can negate it. So we add Ashuna. We're going to activate Ashuna. It's not going to be pretty for him. Let's just say that. Activating this. It's going to come out. He's going to go for the... So this is funny. He goes for compulsory evacuation, right? To pop this. But since this is a non-effect card, I get protection from Mapora. So now I get to negate and protect it. Free negate, and he concedes. He was fucked. He was fucked. Unless his back row was like something that actually stopped me, he was fucked. Clearly he had nothing to stop me because if he did, he would have done something. I'm assuming he probably had something like Welcome. Alrighty, we're here with game number 4? This game number 3 or 4? I don't even know. We are playing against Branded. And we're going to Ash. And we're going to get called by. We have Call By in our hand, though. So I actually don't really care too much because if he does the aggressive play that everybody does, which is pretty much set up a not the Call By, something in red, Brandon in red. We're pretty much going to be able to stop that with our own Called By. So I'm not actually too concerned here. Because our hand's actually kind of busting. Like, we have Vessel. Vessel's going to allow us to dump Mare to the graveyard. And Mare is really strong. I know you guys don't think that because we're not running that many synchros. I'm actually debating whether or not we should put Baron. I think Baron actually might be a pretty good add. The thing is, we lock ourselves into Worm like pretty early. A lot of times with the Shuna. But we're going to play this. We go into our first Monk of the Tenyi. Then we play Vessel. Mare, Ashuna. You see, doing this Ashuna play, this doesn't lock you, but once you use Ashuna's banished effect, it locks you into Worm. So Adahara is going to come out, and then we can activate Ashuna. Going pretty much into Berserker. He's going for Brandon in red. Bad choice on your part. He has Called By the Grave. I was like, in my mind, I was like, imagine this guy has cross out. And he cross out. Dude, I was going to be so tilted. But pretty much, we go into Breakout. We're trying to go for an OTK here. We bounce the Mirror Jade. Remember, we have not used Vishuda's effect yet. So special summon. I don't even think we're going to be able to, though. Yeah, we're just going to bring back Mare. Mare actually has pretty fat attack, too. 2100. Like, it definitely could finish people off. Here we go into Sashihara. We activate Mare once more just so we're untargetable. And we're going to... See, in this case, we could have just went for a 10, but we had lethal on the board anyway. He was fucked unless that was something crazy. But yeah, like I said, going second, this deck has a very easy time OTKing and breaking board. Hello, we're here with game number 5, and our hand is actually pretty bad. You never really want double blackout in hand. You know what? This happened to me a lot when I was playing my games. Like, at least like 30% of my games, for some reason, I would open up double blackout. And I thought that was very unlucky. The reason why you don't really want blackout is because this card sends from deck. Like, I mean, these are both our blackouts. So now we have to have pretty much what for us to even do the blackout play. We have to go into Shaman and then discard it to Shaman. So it's not impossible, but it's still kind of annoying. And that also gives him an opportunity of negating. If he actually negates it when we try to do the graveyard effect, it won't actually. He can actually stop the whole banish effect. Top decking that Shatara is actually really good for us, though. Gonna go into Monk. We activate Pop. We top deck Vessel, really good top deck. Our opponent does use Time Pendulum, which is kind of unfortunate because he didn't even search it out. So he just naturally had it and then got Star. So he's gonna get a lot of value here. But like I said, we're going for OTK. We're not going here to like pussyfoot around our opponent and like, I'm gonna take my time to take care of you, boy. We're not really doing that. So he has poison. I don't really care. He has like nothing else here, unless he end up drawing a hand trap. So here we're able to go into Shaman. Shaman can discard, like I said, that blackout. Here comes Mare. Mare being the OG. I also want to point out what I could have done here is I could have actually, instead of using that one token, actually it didn't really matter. I'm just saying, instead of using that token, if for some reason I couldn't do that play, if I just used Mare's effect one more time, I could have just went into Chen Ying by itself anyway. So, this is how we're going to kill him. I don't know why I summoned this thing in defense. Kind of stupid. But it doesn't really matter. We have lethal on board already. So if you have an effect, non-effect on the field, you can use his ability, copy your opponent's monster, and make it into a token. Which is pretty sick. 3k, 25. Opponent is donezo. Let's go for the recap, and we'll talk about the deck and why I'm better than all these people. Hello, welcome to the recap, and if you are still watching, thank you for watching, and please consider subscribing because it helps out the channel so much. And don't you want to help me out? I don't know. I don't even know what that was. Just subscribe if you want. I appreciate it if you subscribe, though. Also, join our Discord. The description is down below. I haven't been streaming lately because of this tooth pain. It's very excruciating. Just making this video is painful, but I want to be consistent and get these videos up at bare minimum. That being said, let's talk about the deck. Since I had that tooth pain, like I said, I didn't play the normal, like I usually play like 30, 40 games with the deck. I only played around, I think I played like 20, and I had probably around like an 80% win rate in Plat. So he climbed to Plat 3 with the deck. And that's in February 3rd. Like, that's like very early in the season. So it's actually like, that was actually a very impressive win rate for this. Like I said, blind second decks usually, I feel like, do very well in ladder. Because most of the time, if you lose coin flips, you're going to be going second anyways. If you're not going second, you already know what your opponent's playing. He's probably playing like Doomron or something. The deck just had a very good time breaking boards. Cards that didn't perform as well. I don't think I used Pankratops the entire night because I did not open it. I did not draw this card the entire day playing the deck. Heavenly Dragon Circle. I know this card's good, but it did not really perform that well for me. And I actually think something that we could have added to the deck. I feel like we could add this to the deck, but I feel like this is probably better off if we're playing. Like, if we're playing Heavenly Dragon Circle, I feel like the payoff is playing Protoss, right? Because you tribute and then you add a worm. So you can tribute and then add this card to your hand, and then you can special summon it. Because we special summon 600 cards anyway. All different attributes. So I feel like this is kind of... But then if you're doing that, like, why don't you just play Sword Soul, right? I don't know. Protoss is just so broken. I feel like you should play it if... I don't know. The deck performed really well, so it's hard for me to critique. One critique I would also make about it is maybe putting in, like I said, Baron de Fleur. I do think it's manageable to do it. Also, I mean, if you... Like I said, this deck is way more... I know it doesn't look like it. This deck is way more budget than just playing regular Sword Soul. Because you don't have to get Moye, which is an ultra rare. You don't have to get multiple copies of the Synchro monsters, which are all ultra rare. So if you're looking for a budget deck, this deck is actually like really budget friendly too. You just have like a bunch of staples in the deck, like Call of Graves, Ash, Foolish Burial, Lightning Storms, Triple Tactics. Like, these are all like staples. Like, this is arguably the only ultra rare that I actually did craft for the deck, and this card was actually performing very well. I know I didn't show a game with it, but because the games I had with it were kind of boring. This card is normally like a 2 to 3 card monster pop. So once you deal with your opponent's negates, if you're able to go in this, you can just pop like your opponent's entire board. I do wish this card popped any card, but it only destroys effect monsters, which is kind of annoying. I was hoping it would destroy back row too. If this card destroyed back row, this card would be insane in the deck, but it's still like good, but it's just not like super broken. So yeah, if you guys have Protoss already, maybe craft it. This card performs really well. I actually thought this card was really good. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't use Pot of Avarice the entire day either. I never really got into any grind matches. Most of my games just ended on like turn 2. Turn 2, max turn 4. Like, those are when my games would end. Like, turn 2 or turn 4. So, I don't know. Maybe Avarice. Maybe Avarice needs to go. You could place Avarice or something. And like I said, the only thing I would do about the extra deck is possibly you probably cut like one Berserker Tenyi, and maybe add some extra like cards like Synchro or XZ cards. That's the only thing I could think that you could actually do that would really have like an impact on the deck. Other than that, the deck performed really well. On a 1 to 10 list, if I had to do a 1 to 10 for Sword Soul right now in this current meta, and like I said, this is before Sprite dropping, which it's very high speculation Sprite's dropping. I would actually say this deck is probably like if a Sword Soul pure, like a pure Sword Soul, like a Sword Soul like Tenyi deck, if that is, I'd probably say that's like a 9 or a 9.5. I would say this deck's probably like an 8, because I think Sword Soul Tenyi is just way better. And the only reason I'm saying that is because I think it plays on the draw, like it plays going second fine, like pretty well, and it plays going first infinitely better. So because setting up Protoss and stuff is so crazy. So I don't know. Either way, it's a really good deck. I actually really enjoyed this. It was a nice change of pace then from playing like garbage decks like I'm used to playing. I was actually able to win games, which is fun. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know what you guys want to see next. I think the new cards are probably going to be dropping next week, so we're probably going to do something with that, depending on what those new cards are. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. Goodbye.